Now, the trick to making a good pizza is pretty simple. Basically, you need to make sure you have a good crust, you have a good tomato sauce, you have good cheese, and you have good fresh toppings. No single individual part of the pizza can be cheap or it ruins the whole pizza. So, for example, I've got some ingredients out here, and there's different levels of fresh. Ignore this shrimp. This is a shrimp scampi I'm making later that has nothing to do with this video. Pretend that's not there. Unless you like shrimp on your pizza, which I hear people in England like. But that being said, I'm going to grab a plate just to start prepping. So let me just reach up here, grab a plate. Now let's start with the pizza dough. People think, man, I don't want to spend all that time with the flour, water, yeast, flour, sugar, salt, and wait and have to knead it and roll it out. It's a lot of work. I agree. Especially if you like a thin crust, a super thin crust pizza, like New York style thin crust. Here's my hack. I go to the store and I buy burrito size flour tortillas. These are available at pretty much any grocery store in the United States. And that's going to be our pizza crust. And these things are just perfect, but there's a trick. Because if you don't do it right, it's going to be all limp. So here's the secret. First of all, we're just going to grab one of these. You'll see there's a side that's darker than the other. I tend to put the darker side down. It doesn't really matter. Honestly, guys, use whatever side of the tortilla you want. Life is good on both sides of the tortilla. That's all I got to tell you. That's advice from your Uncle Kerry. All right. Next, you need a really good tomato sauce. A pizza sauce made with tomato sauce. So I've already done that here to save some time. And this is made with pizza sauce, this is made with tomato sauce, tomato paste, a little bit of vinegar, a little bit of sugar, a little bit of Italian seasoning, a little bit of salt. I'll have that whole recipe that I use. That's online, and there'll be a link to that recipe for this sauce in the video description below. And I just want the biggest spoon I can get here. And I'm just going to mix this up. It's been in the refrigerator, so it's a little bit, it's not as watery as I'd like it to be. Now you can always add a little water, or you can add a little more vinegar, any sort of liquid to it to help loosen it up. Or don't be a dummy like me, and I could have taken it out of the refrigerator a little earlier. But that's okay. It's going to spread just fine. I like a zesty pizza sauce. I don't want it spicy, but I don't want it sugary and sweet. To me, that's like a child's pizza, like you get at Chuck E. Cheese or, one of these family-friendly pizza chains that has video games and stuff. People don't generally go there for the pizza, right? It's not like, oh my God, they have the best pizza there. You never hear people say that. At least I don't. So I make my own pizza sauce, and that way I can make it exactly the way I like it. And I like it to have a tanginess or a zestiness to it. I don't want it to be sugary, and I don't want it to be spicy. The first time I made this, I put crushed red pepper in it, and I would, take my finger and dip it and try it, and it tasted good. But when you had a bunch of it on the pizza, it was, oh my God, it was way too spicy. So, it's good to taste as you're, mixing your food. Be sure and taste it to see where you're getting. Keep in mind you're going to be eating a lot more of it, and particularly with the sauce. So I'm just going to take the sauce here, and we're not going to use a lot of it. Now,